In a dusty, sweat-stained military cafeteria, laughter echoed like gunfire, until one SEAL's joke turned into a silent grenade. What started as playful banter over MREs ended with an entire platoon frozen mid-bite, eyes wide, forks suspended in air. Because when she replied, the room didn't just go quiet. It shattered. This is the story of how a single word from a woman in uniform rewrote the rules of respect and left even the toughest operators speechless. It was another sweltering afternoon at Camp Pendleton's forward operating base, where the scent of diesel, instant coffee, and stale protein bars hung thick in the air. The mess tent buzzed with the usual chaos, clattering trays, boisterous bets over who'd win the next obstacle course, and the rhythmic thump of boots stomping through the doorway. At Table 7, 4 SEALs from Team 6 were holding court, their laughter booming louder than the distant hum of choppers. Leading the charge was Chief Petty Officer Razor Hayes, a mountain of muscle with a grin that could disarm a landmine. He spotted Lieutenant Commander Elise Vance walking past, her posture rigid, hair pulled back in a no-nonsense bun, her camouflage crisp despite the heat. Razor leaned back, slapping his knee. "Hey, Vance, you walking around like you own this place now? You think you're the head now, bitch?" The table erupted. One guy choked on his water. Another snorted so hard he spilled chili onto his lap. Even the cooks paused mid-scoop. Vance didn't flinch. She stopped, turned, folded her arms. Her expression wasn't angry. It was calm, like a storm cloud waiting to unleash lightning. "You want to know my rank, Razor?" she asked, voice low but cutting through the noise like a knife. "Sure thing, sweetheart," he grinned, leaning forward, ready for more banter. "Go ahead." "Impress us." Behind him, 2 junior SEALs exchanged glances. They knew Vance had been handpicked for a classified joint ops unit, but nobody talked about why. Nobody dared. And now, as the entire cafeteria slowly turned toward them, unaware of the seismic shift about to hit, Razor smirked. "Let's hear it, Commander. What's your big title? Captain? Major? Or are you still playing dress-up?" The room held its breath, not because they expected drama, but because something in her silence screamed, "You have no idea what you've just done." Vance didn't raise her voice. Didn't blink. She simply reached up, unhooked the Velcro patch on her left shoulder, the one everyone assumed was just standard issue, and peeled it off. Underneath, revealed in stark contrast against her digital camo, was a black circular insignia with a single silver star centered inside. Gasps rippled through the room like shockwaves. Some men dropped their utensils. Others froze mid-chew. One private actually stood up and then sat back down stunned. Vance held the patch between her thumb and forefinger, letting it dangle for a moment before speaking. "I'm not a commander. I'm not a captain. I'm not even a major." She paused, scanning the room, locking eyes with each man who'd laughed. "I'm Lieutenant Commander Elise Vance, Joint Special Operations Command. Tier 1 Black Ops. And I don't need a rank to command respect. I earned it by being the only officer alive who's infiltrated 3 hostile regimes under deep cover, extracted 2 hostage teams without backup, and personally neutralized 2 high-value targets codenamed Serpent and Ghost." The silence was deafening. Even the flies buzzing near the trash cans seemed to pause. Razor's smile vanished. His face drained of color. He'd heard rumors, whispers in the briefing rooms, hushed conversations in the showers, about a ghost operative who moved like smoke and left no trace. But he never imagined she'd be sitting here eating MREs, listening to his dumb jokes. You're the one they call Wraith?" Someone whispered from the back. Vance nodded once. "That's the alias. My real name doesn't matter. What matters is that you just called me bitch in front of half the Pacific Fleet's Special Ops Division." She stepped closer, her voice dropping to a whisper that somehow carried across the entire tent. "And if you ever forget who you're talking to again, I won't need to pull rank. I'll just show you why they don't send anyone else after the impossible missions." The room didn't erupt into applause. It didn't need to. The weight of her words settled like lead in every chest. Men straightened their backs. Women adjusted their collars. Even the cooks quietly wiped their hands and gave her a nod, the kind reserved for legends. Razor swallowed hard. "Ma'am, I didn't know." Vance smiled, not kindly but with the cold precision of a sniper sighting in. "Now you do." What followed wasn't punishment. It wasn't reprimand. It was transformation. Within hours, Vance's name became a mantra in the barracks, not out of fear, but reverence. New recruits whispered her code name like a prayer before night ops. Veterans adjusted their posture when she walked by. And Razor? He requested transfer to her unit, not for glory, but for redemption. If I can't earn her respect, I'll spend the rest of my career trying, he told his CO. The cafeteria, once loud with crude jokes and macho posturing, became a temple of discipline. No one dared crack a sexist remark. No one joked about girls in combat. Because they'd seen what happened when someone underestimated her, not with guns or shouting, but with truth, calm, and the terrifying power of earned authority. Even the brass took notice. Within weeks, Vance was promoted, not because she demanded it, but because the chain of command realized she already commanded everything. Her file was sealed tighter than Fort Knox, but the legend grew. The woman who silenced a SEAL team with one patch, one sentence, and the chilling certainty that she didn't need permission to lead. She just did. And now, whenever a new recruit asks, "Who's the toughest operator here?" the answer is always the same, delivered with a nod, a salute, and zero hesitation. Lieutenant Commander Vance, don't ask her rank. Just show her respect, or get ready to learn why she doesn't need to say a word to make you stand at attention. The cafeteria never went back to normal, and no one wanted it to. She didn't shout. She didn't threaten. She just was. And in that moment, the entire room learned. True power doesn't wear a badge. It wears silence, confidence, and the unshakable knowledge that you've already proven yourself. Never underestimate the woman who walks quietly, especially when she's the one they send when the mission is impossible. Because sometimes the loudest thing in the room is the silence after she speaks.